Hi guys, in this episode of the Nostalgia Trip, I'm gonna be continuing with my reactions to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 2012 series. Currently, we are almost halfway into the season. We are at Season 4, Episode 11, Revenge of the Triceratons, and Episode 12, The Evil of Dregg. So it seems like in these two episodes, we're gonna be getting both of the major villains for this season, so I'm curious where we're gonna go with those two things. And I wonder what exactly the Revenge for the Triceratons is gonna be for. I mean, I guess they did steal that one piece off of them in one of the last few episodes, so I guess there is a reason for them to wage revenge towards the Turtles, but still. I'm not really particularly excited about the Dreg episode, because like I said in some of my last few reactions, I don't really care about him as a villain. He feels lame. He is kind of like it has all the qualities of what I don't like about this show, where the villain is too campy and too stupid and just it's not funny at the same time. He feels like a Power Ranger villain, and I don't like him because of that. That kind of villain fits for Power Rangers. It doesn't fit with TMNT in my opinion, even with this show. So I'm not really a big fan of his. Like I said before, the only thing that I like about him is his design in regards to at least those little things that are flowing inside of him that you can see. That's the coolest thing about him. Other than that, I don't really care about him. He really genuinely just feels like Space Shredder to me. But the Triceratons are definitely a good villain, so I'm really excited to get back with them again. So yeah, there's that. Before we get into the reaction though, as usual, I do want to remind you that you can get a full-length version of these reactions over on my Patreon or onto my Ko-fi account, both of which are linked down in the description below. By subscribing at the specific tier that I've created for it, which costs you only like $5, you get access to all of my full-length reactions. And the more time passes, the bigger that library of reactions gets, because right now, the only reactions that are over there in full-length are pretty much all of TMNT 2012, outside of like I think the first 4 episodes, because that's when I started doing these full-length reactions. So the episodes of Generator X and Full Metal Alchemist that I've done so far, which I think is about up to episode 16 for Full Metal Alchemist 2003, and I think until about episode 10 or 11 for Generator X. So there is definitely a decent amount already, but it's gonna grow in the future. I wish I started doing the full-length reactions earlier, because I really wish I had full-length reactions for Transformers Armada, but I don't. But still, there's a lot for you to enjoy. But if you don't want to do it, you can just stick with the YouTube reactions. That is still good enough for me. But know that supporting me through Patreon or through my Ko-fi account is greatly appreciated. Especially because despite the fact I've hit 1,000 subscribers already, I still don't seem to be making any money, which is kind of crazy, because I definitely am getting ads on my videos. Even when I play them myself, I get goddamn ads. So where's my money, YouTube? Like, I'm not expecting to like make thousands of dollars or anything, but I expect that at least one TMNT video is gonna make me at least a couple of dollars, but so far nothing, and I don't know why. I really don't know why. But still, it's too early. I literally just got monetized the other day. But again, I want to thank you for getting me to 1,000 subscribers. I never really imagined how it would be once I hit 1,000 subscribers. I thought it was gonna be that moment where I would feel like I had made it. But I honestly don't really feel that different in regards to that. I feel happy that I've gotten to this point, and right now I feel a little bit aimless because I don't really know what goal to set for myself in terms of like subscriber numbers. Because I ultimately don't really care about subscriber numbers. I just really care about being able to support myself by doing this, and for this to be my job, you know? Yeah. I got a little bit sidetracked. Let's get back to the reaction. I'm really excited to get into it, so without further ado, let's start off the reaction with episode 11, Revenge of the Triceratons, in 3, 2, 1. I don't know if I actually ended up showing it in my reactions until this point, and I don't know if you're even going to see this, but it's interesting that they've done that. It definitely has that 80s TMNT look. It definitely looks like the same kind of art style that they did in the Turtle crossover episode.
Mozar.
Very well then. Prepare to be boarded. Teleport.
Good luck trying to do that.
That ship. Sir, we can't. It's impossible to teleport through their ship's fiber plating. I just said, prepare to be boarded. Are you trying to make Mozart look like a fool? Sir.
No, Mozart is doing a great job at that himself.
The black hole generator is invulnerable. Destroying their ship will have no effect on it.
Those were planet busters. We would have been vaporized.
Yeah, good thing they're gonna hit that moon instead of us.
Moon? What moon? Oh dear.
Uh-oh. Holy fuck!
Thrusters, future. Give it everything. Move this boat.
You know, they're not really doing a good job of showing the speed in space because they feel like they're moving so slow.
There's spinning moon all over the place.
See what you can do about future.
What about the virus? Casey, don't you dare touch it! Don't! You're a dumbass! You just had to touch it.
Meteor gunk? Man, that's disgusting. What the heck was that?
My ninja vibes are telling me we better follow them, dudes.
This ship is awesomely complex. I'm not as smart as the professor, okay? I just build stuff out of junk and crank parts.
I mean, to be honest, that is still amazingly smart for you to be able to build actual, like, crazy devices that we, even in the real world, don't have. With just junk, it's amazing.
Way over my head here.
Find them. It is one ship. One ship. You all.
But it has the main characters on it, so they have plot armor.
Okay, I think this should do it. Possibly. Hopefully.
Hello, fellas. Oh, thank goodness my brain was in stasis. I feel so lightheaded. Literally.
Oh, yes, Donnie! Professor, we're cloaked, but not for long. We need more power. We need you.
Take me to the engine room. I have spare parts in the storage closet. You can put me back together, Donatello. I know you can.
You gotta move fast, Donnie. Sooner or later, the Triceratons are gonna find us.
Okay, so this episode suddenly turned into a character development episode for Donnie.
Has the virus destroyed them? Why are we waiting?
Gotta be honest, not really that as enjoyable as I thought it was gonna be.
I don't care if you can see this.
It feels kind of
The
fillerish.
ship explode. Do whatever it takes.
I guess we are at that point of the season, aren't we?
I'm not quite sure where to begin, Professor.
No problem. I'll guide you every step of the way.
Shite.
Can my luck get any worse?
Don't say that!
Whew, I think that was the last one.
And you destroyed it.
Everything just got a lot worse.
Also, I just realized this spaceship literally has the Eye of Harmony from Doctor Who as its core. Can this become more like Doctor Who than it already is? Hell, I mean, David Tennant is the captain of this ship. This is a TARDIS, okay? Okay, that was a really cool shot. I really like that. With both of them jumping and then being thrown in those directions, that was cool. Oh shit! That punch, man. Oh, this action scene is really dope. Oh, I'm loving this action scene, man. All of a sudden, this episode got actually better. Also, bye-bye. Holy shit, these last 30 seconds were insane.
Hello, everyone.
Miss me! The black hole generator!
Yes, Doctor, we did.
I think I'm built even better than before. And between you and me, I believe it would only take you 2,000 years to master transdimensional physics.
Oh, great. Well,
What is with
started
that
on
bleep
right away.
thing that he
Come on,
does?
guys. We're not out of this.
I thought he was broken and that was gonna be kind of the thing about the episode, but it really didn't play into anything.
Pieces and make those dino.
Okay, so... I don't know, man. felt very much like a filler episode, and it wasn't necessarily bad, but it really felt like I wasn't particularly excited about it. It felt very much so how episodes at this point last season felt like. Not necessarily bad, but kind of lost the excitement for whatever reason. I think the biggest reason is because we're kind of getting to the middle of the season, so the episodes kind of have to be a little bit fillery to kind of waste time a little bit. I've had the same kind of experience with some other shows that I've watched, like The Walking Dead. I feel like loves to do that stuff in their 7th episode of the season. Usually, almost always episode 7 and episode 14 in a season is kind of fillerish. And it seems like TMNT also loves doing that as well, which is kind of annoying because just as you are starting to get into these episodes and really, really enjoy them and get hyped up, it gives you like 3 or 4 filler episodes which, while not bad, are not that exciting. I mean, for this episode, the most exciting part for me was that fight scene with that Triceraton. All of that, like 30 seconds or so, I hope it's 30 seconds so I can show it all to you guys, was amazing. I really, really enjoyed that whole sequence. It was so badass. It was so well edited. I really, really enjoyed it. But that was pretty much the thing that I enjoyed the most about this episode. I also kind of like the interactions between the Triceraton boss and his minions. It was kind of funny. Definitely some shades of interesting personality, similarly to Crank Supreme, so I kind of enjoyed that, but not really too much. And I guess you can't really say that this was a filler episode per se, because the pieces of the black hole weapon got switched to the enemy team now, but in a way, even with that, it is still like a very filler-like episode, because we got the episodes in which we got them, now they're switching hands, and they're obviously going to get back into the Turtles' hands, and they're gonna stop them and everything. So we already know where the destination of this story arc is. So if you waste time flip-flopping who owns all the things, even though it's still like part of the plot, it is also kind of partially filler at least. So yeah, overall it's not necessarily a bad episode, but it really felt a little bit of like a waste of time. I don't hate it, don't get me wrong, I think it was pretty decent for what it is. It's just that I feel like we shouldn't have wasted time with this. Or if we were going to be having a filler episode, I feel like they should have made it more clear, because right now it has this, it kind of stands in this weird position where it's both filler and part of the plot, but it's not really committing to either. Like in the beginning, like I said, we have this little setup about this episode being about Donnie's character development and feeling inferior to Professor Honeycutt, but it really wasn't even like a B plot, it was like a D plot of the episode. So that, even if that, if you want to call that the thing that this episode is about ultimately, it's not really, and it just feels like it has multiple purposes and it doesn't really commit to any of them, and it just kind of feels all over the place a little bit. But yeah, it was still a fine episode, like I enjoyed it. It's not like season 1 level of badness or even season 2. It is still like high quality for this season, but it's just not as exciting as some of the other ones. So yeah, in terms of rating for this one, I think I'm going to go with an 8.4 out of 10, which is still a pretty high rating, but we've gotten better and more exciting ones. And if I didn't really enjoy this episode, I'm wondering and kind of worried about whether I'm going to actually enjoy the next episode, because like I said, I'm not really a big fan of Dreg's character. He's not particularly entertaining to me, but again, I had certain expectations for Revenge of the Triceratons that didn't really live up to, the episode didn't really live up to, so who knows, maybe I'm going to be wrong about the Dreg episode as well. But there's only one way to find out, so without further ado, let's get into episode 12, The Evil of Dregg, in 3, 2, 1. Man, again with the drawn-on art style. I love that shit. If that was more like the art, this was the art style of the show, I would love it so much more. Because it's so much more atmospheric. And don't get me wrong, I've started to enjoy the CGI just fine, but man, I just love hand-drawn looking art style so much more.
Mona!
Raphael. It brings me great.
Honestly, this might be my favorite relationship.
I'm so glad you're okay, Mona Lisa.
It's like walking across a giant wad of slowly baking pizza dough.
It's an organic compound, not unlike hornet hives back home. Thanks for the info there, Donnypedia.
Donnypedia.
Can we start kicking in some set faces already?
Bye, Casey.
Whoa! Thanks, Leo.
Uh-oh. You kicked the hornet's nest. Now you gotta run.
What'd you do now, Jones?
Stop scratching yourself. It's making me itchy. Man, look at that design. That really looks like the alien from Alien Isolation. And I know I mentioned the goddamn alien in pretty much every reaction recently, but... I still have not lost that feeling. I'm still having a bad feeling. This gotta be a trick.
You're pathetic.
Man, I really hate all of them right now. Exterminate them. By the way, this is definitely the better episode out of the two, for sure.
Once I discovered the red turtle had a thing for the salamandrian female, the plan came easily.
But why did they willingly join you? Why?
When your planet is beneath my armada,
You promised you would not attack Salamandria if we brought the turtles.
well, you brought them, and I released your commander. But no planetary invasion? I don't think so.
Oh, fuck off, Putin!
What have we done?
You have no honor, insect.
Duh! Of course he doesn't have any honor. He's a dictator. Why did you thought so otherwise? Like, the Salamandrians are badass, but they're goddamn gullible as hell.
What the?
I don't wanna know. I don't wanna see. I just wanna go.
Or maybe not.
Nothing ever survives a scorpionoid. They'll be dead soon.
Yes!
Try.
Foolish! Now I will have Salamandrian to feast upon instead. And as for your planet, a literal smorgasbord. Today, Dreg wins. Yes, go Dreg! Go Dreg, go!
Go fuck yourself! Fuck. Now behead him, please! I hate him so much.
I made a terrible mistake, and I intend to rectify it.
Do it then! You could have swung at his head and cut it off. But you took your time.
I'm gonna enjoy this.
I don't think you will.
Are you gonna do it doggy style this time? You know, that is a real Deus Ex Machina, I gotta say. No! You're so dead. God damn, he's so badass. Oh yes! Stop him! Stop him! Stop him! Yes!
No fair! No fair!
I'll destroy you, turtle! I'll destroy you!
What the hell? Damn, that was badass as hell. Okay, so that was that. Just like I ended up predicting right before I started this episode, last episode ended up being bad, even though I thought it was gonna be good, and this episode ended up being good, even though I thought it was gonna be bad. And honestly, I don't know if I like or dislike whenever that happens, whenever my predictions are wrong. I feel like it's the best when something unexpected happens and I really enjoy it. But I don't know, honestly, whether I like it this way or whether if I was right that the Triceraton episode was going to be the better one out of the two. But still, I enjoyed this episode quite a lot, honestly. I felt some very strong emotions, which I guess shows how invested I am in everything and how much I hate Dreg. He's not an enjoyable character to me, but I hate him so much. He's such like, even though I don't like him as a character, he's not entertaining to me, I hate him as a villain. Like, he's a good villain enough to the point where I hate his existence and I want him to die. So, there's that. Yeah, there was a lot of interesting moments. Like, definitely the second half of the episode was better, but as a whole, this episode, just like I think it was episode 9, felt like a good episode. Even though, again, it was like a filler episode kind of thing, it still felt very entertaining, and we got a really cool fight and a really cool moment with Raphael kicking everybody's ass. That was so badass. Like, I honestly, even though like I loved season 3, I haven't enjoyed episodes like this in terms of the action ever in this show. Like, it's very rare that we get actual like really good action, and these last 2 episodes have had some really, really cool action scenes. So I'm really, really excited to see what more cool action scenes we're gonna see in the rest of the season. But yeah, that's definitely the thing that I want to take out of these 2 episodes and remember, the action scenes, because I love the action scene towards the end of the Triceraton episodes, and I love the action with Raphael there towards the end. I'm gonna try my best to add the biggest part of it into the reaction, like as much as I can, but we'll see exactly which shots I'm gonna put in. But it was a really cool action scene. But again, it was definitely like a filler kind of episode, and it was featuring Dreg, who is, I guess, the secondary villain to this season. I'm curious when he's gonna get defeated, because we seem to be having some episodes towards the end of the season that seem to be featuring insects. So yeah, I'm really getting some mixed signals based on the titles of future episodes, because, like, for example, one of the titles of a future episode, I think is going to be in the next video, is called Earth's Last Stand. So I assume, you would think that that would be like the title of the episodes in which they save Earth. Will it going to be? I don't know. Could be. Because then the following episode is called City at War, so it implies that they're probably on Earth. And it is pretty much at the middle of the season, so maybe they're actually going to be solving it, but yeah, I don't know. And it's not really clear to me whether Dreg was defeated in this episode, because he did get beheaded, but why the hell did he have a metal head underneath? I have no idea. So it didn't necessarily come off as like a final defeat, although it did seem like Armageddon is probably dead, so there is that. But yeah, I don't know. But it was definitely a pretty entertaining episode. I think in terms of a rating, I'm probably going to give it an 8.7 out of 10. It was an entertaining episode, but still not necessarily what I wanted to be entertained by, so it's not going to be like super crazy good or with a super crazy high rating, but it was definitely an enjoyable episode, and I liked it quite a lot even. But yeah, I think this is pretty much it. So before we end this video, I just want to give a huge shout out to my currently 3 patrons on Patreon: Omar Bridgman, Deadpool, and Shenches. Thank you guys for your support. I really appreciate it. It really means a lot to me that you have decided to support me and have continued to support me such a long time. I hope you continue to enjoy my content and continue to support me going forward. Thank you very much. And now, before we end this video, I just want to talk about something to you guys very quickly, which some of you may or may have not noticed before or know about me. That being the fact that I am trans. And yes, this may come as shocking to some of you because I don't really flaunt it that much on my channel, or at least I feel like I don't. Outside of like my K-pop reactions, which is where I feel like the most comfortable being myself like this. And yeah, I am in fact trans. I'm not necessarily full-on male to female, but I heavily want to transition to being pretty female. I do consider myself more non-binary though, or maybe gender fluid would be the best descriptor as well, because I do have occasional moments where I feel fine being like just a normal guy, but most of the time, like right now, I do feel very dysphoric. And that's why I'm asking you guys for any help that you can give me, because my situation right now, I don't really see any way outside of you guys' help. Because, and this is gonna be kept short and concise, I live with my parents. They're never going to accept me as a trans person. They just never will. And as a matter of fact, back when I started the YouTube channel, I was actually kind of slightly starting my transition back then, with like starting to grow out my hair. I even got to DIY HRT, but because my parents started noticing certain things, like my behavior had changed a lot and my clothes had changed a lot, I kind of had to stop doing that because they were constantly nagging me about cutting my hair and just started to kind of be threatening in a certain way, and felt like they were ashamed of me and everything. And that just kind of stress just tired me out to the point where I just gave up. But as dysphoria goes, it just doesn't go away, you know. I still feel like this, and in fact it's somewhat been intensifying again recently, so I just wanted to share this with you guys. And again, I would really appreciate any amount of support you can give me in regards to this, because I just don't see any way out of this. Because even if I moved out of my parents' house and got myself a job and everything, that's just not gonna work for long-term planning, because once I transition, it's like I probably will not be able to get myself a job, because my country is very transphobic. Nobody gives a shit about LGBT people at all. So there's not even much I can do even in terms of transitioning here. So yeah, I don't know. I just would appreciate any amount of support you can give me, be it monetarily or in any way otherwise. And this is not about boosting my channel or anything, or guilt-tripping you with my sob story. I just wanted to get this off my chest and make my subscribers aware of the situation that I am in, and that I would appreciate anything that you guys can help me out with. It would mean literally everything. Like, for example, a friend that I made after starting this YouTube channel, my good friend Yuri, has been helping me out a lot. And I genuinely might have not been here if it wasn't for him showing up and befriending me. So yeah, this just went a little bit longer than I intended, but I would just really appreciate anything you can support me with. That's kind of ultimately what I'm trying to say.
And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like, subscribe. Also, check out the links in the description to my Twitter if you want to follow me over there, and to my Wattpad where I post my stories, because in addition to doing all these videos for my channel, I'm also a writer. And if you don't enjoy my stories, or you simply enjoy my videos, you can head over to my Patreon or to my Coffee account, where you can pledge your support and help get the channel going, help support me so I can keep writing stories you enjoy. But if you don't want to do it, that's completely fine. You can still help me out in other ways, like liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and especially sharing this video with someone who you think might enjoy it. And I think this is pretty much it for this video, so hopefully I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye!